I'm Olin Schultz, president of MoreBeer, and I'm here today with Phil O'Brien, the second employee from Hale's Ales, hired in 1985. Is that right, Phil?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have a long history as one of the earliest microbreweries or brew pubs in Washington, or actually in the nation.
Kind of even in the nation, yeah. It was, I think I heard that we were like the 12th new brewery after Prohibition.
Wow.
It was right in the early 80s when
Wow.
it was just beginning to happen.
So this was around the time that Sierra started, and Red Hook, and
Grants,
yeah, Grants,
yeah.
a lot
they
of the
were
early...
up here in Washington. Yeah, we were the third in Washington.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, were you back in that point in time, there wasn't a lot of brewing schools, so you must have started working out the hard way and worked up from the bottom.
Washing kegs,
yeah,
scrubbing out tanks. Yeah, for sure. You know, I learned from Tom Shimo, my friend who went to work for Mike Hale, and from Mike Hale, and he was like a self-trained home brewer, but then he went over to England and kind of apprenticed at a little regional brewery over there called Hale's Ales.
Hale's Ales, and so now we know where the name came from.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was Mike Hale. You know, his partner said, it's got to be Hale's Ales. He was a little resistant, but they were right. It had to be.
Yeah. No.
But anyways, he learned their English brewing techniques and brought it back to a little town of Colville, and tried to sell English ale to people in a little town in northwestern Washington. And pretty soon he found out he had to sell it in Seattle because they weren't quite ready for it there.
Got it.
Yeah.
And obviously Seattle liked the beer, as we can see by the brewery. What about the yeast strain you use is?
Yeah, it's an English yeast strain. You know, traditional. It was a Whitbread B strain was the official name for it, out of a yeast library and
Whitbread B.
Whitbread B. Yeah.
Okay, so Whitbread was one of the original strains that you heard about when I got started in brewing.
Right.
This was a variation of that strain?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was the strain that Hale's Ales used. It's got kind of a cherry fruit aspect to it. The esters in it have sort of a cherryness to it.
Okay.
It's a real durable, very predictable, real easy yeast to work with.
Okay.
Top fermenting, easy to, it flocculates well and easy to harvest from. And Mike, when he left his apprenticeship at Gales, he asked them in England if it'd be okay with them for him to use their yeast, and they went, sure.
Yeah.
You know, you're 6,000 miles away.
Yeah, you're not competition at this point. Yeah.
No, they were kind of honored, and it's worked out well.
And that was a top cropping. They fermented in open fermenters.
Also, yeah.
Yeah, and I saw, we were talking to your assistant brewer, and we learned that you were fermenting in open fermenters.
Yeah.
So you guys have been doing the same thing, which we really, other than Anchor, haven't encountered, at least I haven't encountered in any other brewery.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very traditional. You know, it works really well. Mike's feeling was always like, why should we bend the yeast into a vessel that it wasn't bred to be in? You know, it has a life cycle of its own. And you know, if we were going to use that yeast, we wanted to be in open fermenters, and it's worked very well for us. We just keep a clean brewery.
Yeah.
And
for 27, 28 years, something like that, right? I mean, you've been doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm really excited about this Tray Frim Signature or Brewmaster Series beer that we've been chatting about before we were talking here. And this is, you said, a Belgian ale that has a cherry puree or sour cherries added into the fermenter.
Right. Yeah. It was three women, actually. Mike Hale's wife, Kathleen, and a couple of brewing women over on the peninsula.
These are brewers or friends of hers?
Yeah, one is a brewer, one's a woman, a publican, you know, a gal that runs a pub over there.
Awesome. Great.
And they just had this cool idea to brew a Belgian style ale with cherries.
Okay.
And it was in the summer, it was last year, and we used actually the system that you guys built for us, and and they just brewed like a barrel and a half, and it came out just delicious. You know, it's kind of a light golden ale, but it's got that nice cherry aspect to it, and it was popular enough that we're brewing like 1,600 gallons of it. Like
this is like this is music to my ears, Phil. You make it on the BrewSculpture as a test batch, and now you guys are making a huge batch of it, and we're going to put it on tap in the brewery, or it's going to be distributed?
Yeah, we'll bottle it as well. It'll be about 50-50, very special bottling, you know, like a 22-ounce bottle, and then distributed locally on draft.
All right, so I got to come back up to get it. So.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, a couple of months?
Yeah.
All right. We'll get some flights, we'll come back up, we'll bring a couple people, and we'll try that cherry beer.
Yeah, you got to do that.
All right. And any piece of equipment that you've done in the brewery over this huge span of time, this big breadth of knowledge you have that really you thought added to the brewery or added to the beer, made the beer better?
Well, I think if there was just one thing, this is a fairly basic thing in brewing. It's not signature to us particularly, but we didn't use it at first in the first couple years of the brewery. But when we built our second brewery over in Kirkland, we added a hop back.
Okay.
And our beers tend to be they've got really nice hop character, but it's never been like super bitter hop or necessarily super floral hop.
Okay.
Character. But I think what the hop back allows us to capture a lot of that floral hop character and balance it out with the hop bitterness of the brew kettle.
Yeah.
And I really think it's an extra dynamic in the finished beers that wasn't there, and it was a immediate difference to have that ability to.
Now, does the hop bed act as a filter of sorts as well, or? Do you find that or not in yours?
So we've got stainless, perforated screens on the bottom of the, so it filters through that as well.
Sure.
Know. But and that's what holds a lot of that trub back as well.
Okay.
But yeah, for sure they. And then we do some late hopping in our depending on the beers. Cold hopping in the
in the tanks.
In the tanks themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any new hops that you are coming down the line that you see that you guys might use or you've heard about?
There's a lot of varieties these days that, we, like a lot of Northwest brewers, have been kind of enchanted with this Amarillo hop.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a short supply and makes it a little difficult to strategize around. So we have been looking at some other options. Apollo is one that has come up that seems like a very nice hop you don't want to be kind of a kind of held hostage to the supply. So our brewers have been pretty flexible and had their ears on the rail about what really is good and what might substitute well.
I think the Amarillo crop this year was 30% down, so everyone who even had a contract got cut down by 30%.
We were one of those.
Yeah, us too.
Yeah.
And what about your a favorite hop from over the years? What's your all-time favorite hop?
Well, my personal favorite is Centennial.
Centennial? Yeah. Great hop.
Yeah, I really like that hop.
Something I learned about Centennial recently, which you might already know, but the poor storage qualities of Centennial. It's the least hop that stores well. I don't know if you found that out.
No, I think it's true. It gets a little cheesy, towards the end of 12 months. I think you guys said you were going to visit Hop Union, but
yes.
Those guys have been pretty innovative with ideas about how to store even whole hops in the small packaging, vacuum sealed, and that helps a lot.
Yeah,
it helps a whole lot.
But we're running some tests. I should say Hop Union's running some tests, but we're supplying them with some different characteristics as well of nitrogen, vacuum, different things like that, and seeing what the degradation of alpha acid is over time. Because something for a home brewer to know about is what hops are not going to last in their freezer versus some other hops that might last a lot longer.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good point.
Yeah.
To be honest, we never, in the early going, we weren't much of a devotees of pelletized hops, but have become more and more and more so because of the steadiness of them, the predictability. And if you use them the right way, you can get really great hop character out of them.
Definitely. What about English hops? You guys were founded on English type brewing characteristics, and what English hops do you use?
Not much.
Yeah, not much anymore.
Yeah.
Mostly now living up to the Northwest moniker of bigger is better.
I mean, it's kind of like what we were talking about, you know, grapes and wines and a little earlier, and you know, it's like that's a great model over there, but it's like it's been so innovative here in the United States. Hop growing, I don't think is any exception. I mean, we do use Saaz hops. We, you know, for our lighter. We make a Kolsch ale that is kind of Pilsner-like, and a couple other light ales through the year that benefit, you know, from the nice character, mellow character of the Saaz. And we've used Kent Golding for sure, and they're nice, you know. But it's, you know, it's like a lot of things. It's like the beer itself. It's like you want to get it fresh. You want to get it really, and to have the benefit of this incredible growing region, like we're lucky,
like 2
right?
hours away.
2 hours away, you know, why wouldn't we use those pretty much predominantly?
Well, and Kent Golding's you find is more subtle in the beers that you use it in, so if you want it to stand out, you got to use a lot more.
A lot of them, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, for better or worse, I think the current evolution of the, you know, craft beer adventurous drinkers, God bless them, is like, give me more, give me big, give me, you know, intense, you know.
Double IPAs.
Double IPAs and this sort of, you know,
triple
all that,
IPAs.
all that stuff. So more, bigger, better. But, you know, that'll all come around too, I think, you know. And
pretty soon they'll just be sucking on hop candy, so you won't even have to drink the beer.
Right.
This is bitter.
Right.
All right. Well, hey, I would love to thank you for taking us on a tour today and talking with us.
My pleasure.
We look forward to this Belgian cherry beer that'll be coming out as a Brewmaster Series kit. And again, just thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay,
All right.
thanks.
Take care.